Thank you, everyone, so much for coming back to the Reaction Shot podcast. It's me, your host, Dave, and today I have a pretty special guest with me. This is Bill D. Russell. Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate being here. I'm
Absolutely.
honored.
You're honored. Oh man, well,
I
you know
am.
what? I'm honored to have you on here.
Well, thank you.
It's definitely a privilege to have you. You actually reached out to me to let me know about a new project you're getting ready to work on, which we'll talk about in a minute for sure. But first off, I want to know a little bit about you. What was childhood like?
Ah, oh my God. You
It's my
said we
favorite.
only have 45 minutes.
Hey, you know what?
Oh,
Get to talking. I want to hear it all.
I mean, we can start there
We'll start
because
there.
that does tie into some things.
Sure.
I'm a child of the 60s. And I grew up in rural farmland, Wisconsin. No, my brother was born when I was 10, so I was an only child for like that first 10 years. We lived in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have like cousins. My family had moved to the area, but otherwise it was pretty inbred. you know,
Sure. Sure.
Typical small town Wisconsin. Three-fourths of the town is related to
Yeah.
each other. So I was basically like a misfit, outcast kid. But I had television. And this will mean something in a moment. One of the shows I loved as a kid was I was like 10 years old when the original Batman TV series originated, and I had loved the comic books. When the show would come on, I'd get all my DC comic books out and all my trading cards and my Revell model Batmobile car. I did the same thing for Green Hornet and the Monkeys. I had all the comic books, all the trading cards. I had the model. I don't know if you know, Chuck Barris was a famous custom auto designer. He created the Batmobile, the Monkey Mobile, the Addams Family, not the Munster, the Munster
Monsters.
Mobile.
Okay.
He did all of those. So I would get all this stuff out because that was all I had
Yeah.
was me and my collection.
I love it.
So that kind of says a lot about where I'm at today.
That's great. No, I mean, I love that.
But that's
Actually,
where I developed a love for movies,
sure.
especially I mean, I love the sitcoms and all of that, but at night, my parents would go to bed, and I wasn't supposed to, but I would stay up with the volume as low as I could, and as close to the TV, which I know is not good for my brain, and that probably says a lot.
It paid off.
Um, but I loved the medium. Eventually I just knew I wanted to be involved in film. I didn't necessarily set out to be an actor, but that's what I kind of fell into.
I love that. Yeah, so Batman was a big part of your childhood. It's funny you were talking about. I'm gonna grab something really fast.
Yeah.
I My grandpa got this for me, so it's a little dusty. I apologize, but
All
this
right. So am I.
Batmobile.
Oh, yeah, daddy.
Yeah.
That's
So
it right there.
yeah. So
Holy cow.
yeah, I was a big Batman fan when I was a child too. My grandma, and my grandpa used to watch me all the time, and my grandpa actually had like a second bedroom in their house, and they turned it into a complete Batman bedroom. I'm talking like wall decor. The bed was like the
Yeah.
Batmobile sheets and everything. So,
Love it. Love it.
yeah, yeah. Growing up, I kind of always got Batman type memorabilia. So I feel you on that.
And when I
For
was in high school, our our school band played at the state fair, the Wisconsin State Fair, and one of the midway side exhibit things was they had like a classic car tent, and the Batmobile was one of them. Now I'm sure it's not the real Bat. It's probably a replica they make to
sure.
tourist state fairs. I don't know, but it was all roped off, but there was nobody back there, so.
Hey,
I climbed the ropes and got into the Batmobile because what else are you gonna
naturally,
do? And
right?
this was way back, prehistoric days. There were no cell phones or anything, so I have no way of capturing that memory other than I know
And hey,
I
you get to
I
tell the
sat
story.
in the Batmobile.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're gonna pretend it was the real Batmobile. That was the
Let's
Batmobile
do
that was
that.
there.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes the
so
story much better. That was,
yeah,
and I know it was because some of Adam West, like a gum wrapper with it,
yeah, Absolutely.
stuff like that.
I believe that. I
His
believe that.
his ex an expired, membership card to a gym with his name on it, stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yep, that's it, exactly. So, yeah,
That's how I know is
you
really
found
it.
you found the Batmobile, and that's perfect. So,
I did, yeah.
I love that, and that kind of, brought you for your love of film, obviously the love of Batman, and I'm gonna fast forward to
Okay,
today, and I'm gonna
uh
let you tell everyone why we're gonna tie this into to what we're here. You got some news,
well,
right?
the reason I bring all that up, well, the long story short is I was offered the role, to play Alfred the butler in, Joker's Wild, Lazarus Risen, the sequel
Yeah,
to Joker's Wild that had featured David Howard Thornton, of course, as the Joker. So, yeah, I'm sure if people who watch your show are familiar
yeah,
because I
abs
know you've had a lot of the people on,
yeah, you
which
know
is
what?
which is why I reached out to you when this came along, as I thought, here's somebody that might be interested.
Yeah, you know what? I'm definitely interested, and I really appreciate you reaching out because I think this is a fantastic project. We talked about it being like a nightmare variant of the DC Comics
Oh, yeah.
version of Batman, and it's incredible. So, congratulations on getting cast as
Thank you.
Alfred Pennyworth. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
incredible. Yeah, so happy to hear that. Just doing some research on you, kind of checking out some of film reels that you got. I think you're gonna be great. I think
Well,
it's
thank
very
you.
fitting. Yeah, and to know that you have a passion for film and to know that you've have a big passion for Batman,
Yeah.
this was made for you. So
Yeah,
this is a full circle moment.
and that's, what led up to this was I had just reached out to Aaron Bennett when I saw that he was, in pre-production for the sequel,
Mm,
and I just said, "I'm a fan. I would like to help promote the film."
that's great.
And I got myself a T-shirt and
Mhm.
made some posts, and out of the blue, Aaron messaged me one day and said, "Hey, I've got Alfred is gonna be in this. Would you be interested?"
And you said,
So, I was like, "Eh,"
I might be busy. Let me check my schedule really fast.
you know, I almost tipped over my walker at that point. I was
No, 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 no. It's really
No,
it's incredible.
I had no idea that that was even a thing, that it was
Sure.
he caught me totally by surprise.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, yeah."
Say less. I will be involved. Um, yeah,
Exactly. Say
incredible.
less. Shut up.
Incredible. I'm
Yeah,
so happy for you. Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
great. I love to hear, just hearing, the beginning of basically the beginning of your origin story and sitting in the Batmobile, and now you get to be Batman's butler, which is
Yeah.
a great thing. Alfred's an amazing character. I think I can really see something incredible coming out of that inside this nightmare variant world.
Oh,
So,
right,
definitely
right.
definitely interested. Have you seen the script yet?
I have.
Ooh, okay. Well, I know we can't talk about details, but that's
No,
great.
but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you saw the first one, it's gonna be more of the same.
Yeah. What was your reaction to seeing, Joker's Wild for the very first time?
I mean, I was already, obviously I know David, I'm a fan of David's,
Mhm,
and I knew that it was going to be dark and that obviously it has a crossover between just the comic universe, but the horror universe. Um, and yeah, I was still like, wow, he went
mhm.
there.
Yeah. You did all
Whoa.
of that. Yeah.
Holy. And it was interesting. I was reading some comments on Reddit just earlier today. Uh, People responding to the original one who were it was the subreddit is specifically about the Joker character, not about the
Mhm.
film. So these are people who are fans of the character react, and they were like, "No, that was way too that was unnecessarily gory." And like, yeah,
It's never
from
unnecessary.
your viewpoint, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's something that I feel like has not really been done before, and I think
Yeah.
Aaron's vision really captured
Oh,
that.
yeah, and it was I just thought very well done, very well conceived, very well executed. Um, you we get to hear David talk,
Yeah. Yeah,
which
that's incredible too.
I mean,
Yeah.
between art and I don't know if you've seen Stream, his character in
Mhm.
Stream also,
Yeah.
does not and there's like, "Holy shit."
Yeah, you were like, "What?"
Um, and also just 'cause the makeup
Mhm.
It's like, is it a mask or is that his face? The way you really can't
Yeah.
tell.
Yep. And I
Like,
I think
that
that
is just so well done.
yeah, that was
Yeah,
such a
I was
smart move to
very
do it that way.
impressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too, me too. Yeah, so, well, again, congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we're gonna go back in time again, though. So, you're growing up. Yeah, going back. So, growing up, you're
Growing up.
really, really excited about film. What was it like going off on your own? What was the next step? What was the next in this origin story?
Now, again, you realize we only have 45 minutes, you said, and we're
Hey,
down
it's
now to
okay.
like 35.
Hey,
Um,
we're good.
oh my God. Uh, well, I graduated from high school and end up going to ultra conservative fundamentalist Bible college. That's
Oh.
a whole nother story.
That's a whole
Um,
other episode.
and but when I was a churchy kid growing up,
Sure.
you know. So I thought, "Hmm, maybe the ministry is what I want to do." I'd originally wanted to go into electronics and found out in shop class that I had absolutely no aptitude
Mm,
for electronics. Like the very first thing we had to do was make our own extension cord. We were given the cord itself, and then we had to attach the plugs on either side,
mm,
on either end. Plugged
interesting.
mine in and blew out the circuit breakers on the entire wing of the school. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay. And
Not for me.
that was like the high point of shop class for me. And it was
Yeah.
all downhill from there. Uh,
Yeah,
Trying to
big major.
master a soldering gun, I ended up melting the tip of the soldering iron
Good job.
because I had it on too long. So like nothing to do with using my hands.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah, yeah.
know. I'll stand up behind a podium and speak. I can do that. Uh, but so I get to college and found out, boy, their agenda doesn't have much to do with the Bible.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't last there very long, and kind of had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew some people living in Chicago, and out of total naivete and being unsophisticated, I thought, "Oh, I'll just throw my stuff in the back of the car and drive to Chicago, and I'm sure there's gotta be jobs just lying around waiting to be had,"
For
because I
sure.
knew my little town in New Lisbon, Wisconsin, I had bills, I had school bills to pay, and there was no work to be had at home. So I didn't plan to move to Chicago or anything.
Yeah.
Uh, b but I ended up that's what I
But you
ended
ended
up
up there.
doing.
Yeah.
I just went there planning, "Oh, I'll stay here for a short period of time." And, eventually, totally by accident, fell into a job in the editorial department of the Chicago Tribune,
Oh, wow. Okay. Great.
in the library. People say, "Oh, you look wait, do you write stuff?" I go, "No, my job title is I look stuff up." That's
Okay.
basically what it was. It was
A
research and
researcher.
archiving.
Yeah.
Which back then archiving was you take the newspaper and you'd actually cut the article out of the newspaper and write a subject heading on it and put it in a file cabinet. Now
Crazy.
now we have the internet and databases and
Mm,
stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. All at our fingertips.
So after a while, I'm like, okay, so I know I'm not going back to Bible college, and
Mm.
this wasn't what I chose to do. And I ended up being there for 28 years. So I started
Wow,
taking
wow.
writing and directing classes at Columbia College. I thought, I'm going to get involved in filmmaking. And I had a coworker who kept saying, you're a smart ass. You should go take improv classes at Second City.
Mm,
I really didn't know anything about Second City, but I was like, I don't think so. Like I
yeah.
said, I did not have acting being on my radar. So this was the mid '80s, and I remember reading
Mm,
an interview with Harold Ramis, who of course was a Second City veteran. Um, and he's talking, and I realized that a lot of the comedy films that were coming out in the '80s, uh, all involved people who had Second City backgrounds. So I thought,
mhm.
well, if I want to get involved in film, that might be a good networking
Yeah.
thing. Maybe I should go take classes just to meet people and also, improv creativity things. So
Mhm.
that's I just ended up doing that.
That's great. So you ended up doing
So,
improv, like
but I even put off doing, like, becoming an actor for a long time. Pretty much everybody else had headshots and agents, and I was like, "No, no, that's not for me."
that's not for me. What, at this time in your life where we're at in the story, what was, like, a film that you absolutely loved, something that really kept your love for film alive? Do you remember? Do you have a certain film like that?
There is it's hard to pick just one that really, well, I'll tell you, right before I made the decision I'm leaving Bible college,
Mhm.
Animal House
Animal
came,
House, nice.
and I was like, when you're in, like, we had restrictions, like, our hair couldn't be long enough to touch our ears in the back of our collar.
Yeah.
Women could not wear pants
Mhm. Yeah.
on campus. It was very conservative, very strict. And we don't you don't go to movies. Movies,
Uh-huh.
that those were one of the evils. I was Baptist.
Wow.
Um, so not only was I going to movies, I was going to a movie about very different kind of college
I was
life
gonna
than
say
I was used to.
Animal
But
House is a whole different world.
holy, that one and Grease was the other one.
Mm,
Those two just, and Animal House a lot, just because I think and at the time, comedy was really my wheelhouse. That was what I
yep.
was drawn to. And it was just very well crafted. It was just like, that's a well made film, I think.
Yeah.
Not that all of the, National Lampoon at some point just became a brand name that they'd slap on
Sure. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
At the time, though, that first film is like, and I knew some of the people who were involved with it at the time. So I remember a friend of mine saying that um, he remembered Harold Ramis dropping by Second City uh, at one point and saying, "I just got hired to write the biggest piece of shit movie, and it's going to be a huge success." And it was Animal House.
Damn, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, huge
the
success indeed.
biggest piece of shit movie, but it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yeah, Animal House is definitely a really good film. It's fun. It's
Right. Yeah.
obviously off the hinges. So to know that
But
you were
I was a fan of Alfred Hitchcock films.
mm,
Billy Wilder films, um, were huge to me, especially because, he ran the gamut from comedy, like The 7 Year Itch and,
yeah,
Some Like It Hot, to Stalag 17, which, was a very serious war movie,
yeah, yeah.
or Sunset Boulevard, which starts out with the guy dying in a swimming pool. Um And the Marx Brothers. The
Mm,
Marx Brothers were huge influences on me.
yeah.
But, as part of this growing up watching stuff, those late night movies when my parents were asleep and I'm parked in front of the TV were oftentimes Hammer and Universal horror films.
Gotcha.
So along with my Marvel and DC comics and my Mad magazine, I was a regular buyer of famous monsters of the filmland. Um, I grew up on, like, House of Frankenstein, where they tried to put
Hmm.
it's Frankenstein. When we start calling the monster
Yeah,
Frankenstein, no,
yeah.
no, and Dracula and the werewolf. And
It's
then, of course, they eventually would go one step further and add Abbott and Costello to those things,
yeah.
which I was like, to me, those don't count.
No, no, yeah. It's like the
Abbott and
Marvel.
Costello meet the Wolfman. No.
Yeah, it's like the Marvel world of horror at the time. It was
Oh,
let's
yeah.
let's see how many things we can throw together and make it work, make it
Yeah,
make sense.
basically.
Yeah,
Basic.
yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So you kind of fell in love with comedy, obviously, and then you also had a love for classic horror films, which kind of leads you
Yeah.
into your career.
Yeah. Well,
Tell us about
comedy
some.
was something I personally could do, if that makes sense. And,
Yeah.
like, a lot of people who become actors or performers or comedians or whatever, like I said, I was kind of an outcast, misfit, picked on kid. Um, and I uh, uh, knowingly
Mm,
cultivated a sense of humor as a defense mechanism.
sure. Makes
If
sense.
people are going to make fun of me, I'll make fun of myself first, and we'll all have a laugh.
Yeah,
Was
absolutely.
based so. Well, as horror was something that was entertaining to me, but
Mhm.
as far as something I could get in, which I mean, I did to some extent, like local haunted houses, but they were never anything very.
Yeah,
I remember dressing up, doing like a vampire makeup thing one year, but
true.
so just again in small town rural Wisconsin, there aren't we didn't even have a movie theater
Wow,
nearby, and
wow.
there certainly weren't any sort of like theatrical thing. So I had no exposure to anything like that. Which was one of the fun things about moving to Chicago, because I lived for the
Culture
first
shock.
several years, I basically lived right, like on LaSalle Street, if you know, right downtown Chicago.
Uh,
And to a kid who loved everything pop culture, but didn't have access to it where I grew
mm,
up, it was the
starstruck.
proverbial kid
Yeah,
in a candy store. And for until I myself got involved in the mid 80s with improv and stuff, so before I started doing any kind of acting, I went to movies like 5 nights a week,
nice.
especially because Chicago had, and it was the dawn of VHS. I mean, it was still having your own VCR was still kind of a novelty. Um, But they had what we called revival houses, theaters that showed only older movies.
Great.
Um, so, like, I got to see Todd Browning's Freaks on the big screen along with Eraserhead before Twin Peaks, so nobody knew who David Lynch was. I saw John Waters speak at a retrospective. I
Oh,
sat
cool.
through all 3 Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns
Damn.
in a row,
Wow.
and it was like I remember just walking out of the theater. It's like 6 or 7 hours,
Yeah.
to see those 3 movies, and when I left, it was still it wasn't late night yet, so you walk out and it's sunlight again after you've been in the theater
Like,
for so many months,
blinded.
and it's like, I loved everything. I couldn't tell you what happened in which movie at this point.
Sure. All
They
blends
all
together.
kinda run together, but that and almost always by myself. So I couldn't absorb enough.
I love that. Well,
Yeah.
it led you to a pretty great career. Tell us about one of your earliest roles, one of your earliest acting gigs that you got once you started getting into more acting and into more film.
Once I started, um, well, let's see. Well, here. I'll just throw out some fun things.
Yeah.
I was a background extra on in Home Alone, the scene where Catherine O'Hara is at the counter saying, "I've got to go back to Chicago. My son Kevin is home alone."
Yeah, yeah.
There's people walking around in the back. I'm one of those people walking
Look at
around in the
you.
back.
You're the star.
Um, yeah, oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, like one of the like, and at the time you wouldn't necessarily know it's a big deal other than it was a decent paycheck for a while. I got cast in a Blockbuster video commercial
Oh, cool.
called The Perfect Store, which was kind of like, if you had the perfect store, you would have 24-hour video rental, blah, blah, blah. And you see a family. This commercial opens up with a man and a woman and their 2 kids. I played the dad in that.
Wow.
And I'm like, eh. Like I said, it was decent money for a while. And when I put together my commercial reel from back at that time, I didn't even have that like at the front of my reel because
Yeah, yeah.
me, it wasn't as now because of Blockbuster video nostalgia. That has taken on a life of its own. It was
Sure.
featured in the last Blockbuster documentary. Actually, is in there twice.
Wow.
So yeah, and anytime, every so often you'll just see it pop up, like in uh, people who post about 90s nostalgia or whatever. Hey, remember when we went to Blockbuster Video?
I'm a sucker for it.
There's there's that commercials. I don't make any money out of it,
Yeah.
but it's something at least I can, say.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something you
I did
accomplished.
this a
Yeah,
while
it's
ago.
great.
So that, and I was in a commercial for Pizza Hut for 5 bills, which a lot of people remember. I did a spot with Joe Settlemeyer for Alaska Airlines. Joe Settlemeyer was the director who did the Where's the Beef
Oh,
commercials for Wendy's. He had a brief period where he was like the number one comedy commercial director.
that's awesome.
Um, Basically because of that. But he was a pioneer in what was at the time referred to as real people casting, because the
Mm,
80s was still very much, you know, you had a very specific look in commercials.
yeah.
And there were things like you couldn't have exposed tattoos or piercings. You could never let your tongue be seen. There was like, it was
Wow.
very, homogenous. And um, so he was the first one that came along and said, you know what, instead of pretty actors, professional actors. So he was Clara Peller, who was the Where's the Beef lady. He saw her in a grocery store and thought she looked quirky
Wow.
and, said, "Would you like to be in a commercial?"
That's
So that's what he was known for, and I was one of the rare people who was like an actual actor that he liked, but because I'm goofy looking.
Oh, that's cool. I love to hear that. I think, you were talking about 90s nostalgia and that kind of going to the forefront of your reel that you made, and I agree with you. I think that kind of nostalgia definitely is really booming right now. I'm a sucker for it too. Like I said, I'll definitely I'll have to check that out. I think that's great. I'm sure it's a commercial I've seen, so
Oh, you'll
to
recognize
recognize it.
you'll
Very-
recognize it. Say,
very-
"Oh, that one."
Hey, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
Home Alone too, just for you. I'll sit, peek
You
around in
I
the background.
mean, not that you can tell, they're just like, they're blurs.
Yeah,
You tell it's people.
sure, sure.
I don't even know which one of those people is me. I just know I'm one of them because they had us like walking. You'll see she's at the counter and you see there's people walking back and forth. It's like 6 of us
Yep.
literally walking back and forth, but to the camera just sees movement. So
Yeah, that's
we
true.
were literally just walking.
Like walking getting your steps in for the day. It's fine.
Pretty
It's great.
much, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it's great. I mean, regardless if you can see or not, I think that's pretty cool for you to be instead of Home Alone, especially at
Yeah.
the time, a Chris Columbus film. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Puppet Master, a really huge horror franchise that you were a part of. Tell us about what that was like for you.
It was a lot of fun. And again, it's one of those, I'll be honest, I wasn't really aware of the following that Full Moon
Sure.
Pictures had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I was a horror movie aficionado, but the Puppet Master movies were just not on my radar. I
Mm.
had seen the titles, on Tubi,
Yeah.
and just thought, honestly, I was like, nah, those look kind of dull. And I replied to an audition notice on a casting platform called Actors Access, an audition for the film, and really didn't know much about it until I mentioned something on Facebook. I said, "Oh, I'm going to be in Ohio shooting this Puppet Master film," and suddenly people were responding like, "Oh my god, you're the pup!" I didn't know. That's my brand now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like, doing research, just kinda like checking out your story and everything online, Puppet Master comes up quite a bit, so sounds like that was a
Yeah.
pretty great role for you to take on.
Well, just because it does have um, I actually saw it referred to legacy franchise name recognition.
Perfect.
Just
Great title.
the fact that I'm in a Puppet Master movie.
Yeah, that's
It doesn't
enough.
matter what I did, which was not much. I lay strapped to a gurney for 2 minutes screaming like a little bitch. Um,
Perfect. That's all they want sometimes. That's all they want.
but I'll add to that. Dave Parker, who was the director of that film, was sitting by. I mean, he didn't just say, "Okay, Bill, scream for 2 minutes." He was constantly throwing suggestions at me. Imagine a bomb's going off over your head, and now Doctor Death just suddenly appeared next to you.
Yeah.
You know, scream. Pretend that this is happening. Pretend that which was wonderful for me because it gave me something to play. It's like being an actor where you get to play off somebody else for dialogue at least.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so yeah, that was Doctor Death.
That's love it. I definitely have to check that out. I feel Puppet Master wasn't one of the franchises that I hardcore paid attention to, just,
No, nobody.
kinda like you mentioned, but there's something about it. I mean, it's this crazy, off-kiltered horror franchise that you kinda go into it knowing what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be
Yeah,
cool to
I
see
mean,
you a
it's
part of it.
certainly it's not for everybody, but the
Yeah.
people who like it, it does have a very passionate
Mhm.
follow.
Yep. 100%. So, let's talk about your other film. Is it Vic Effects or
Vic
VFC Effects?
Effects. Thank you
Vic
for
Effects.
mentioning Vic Effects because that's
Yes.
yeah.
Uh,
And we just started filming it's not a sequel, but the next film from director Chris Shern. Um, bless his heart, Chris wrote the lead part for me. It's the
wow.
first time I've got a lead in a feature, so uh,
Amazing.
a lot of
Amazing.
pressure. Not only do I need to make myself look good, I need to make Chris look good, and that's more pressure than like. Okay, so I've got to carry your film. Okay,
Wow.
but yeah, Vic Effects. Was a lot of fun, and it's a film that not everybody gets right away. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it or not yet yourself. It's about a woman who gets hired by a film director that I play to be my new Foley artist or the creator of sound effects.
Mm,
Um, and horror movies specifically. And as uh, she and I give her my former Foley artist who died mysteriously the odds and ends of things. He uses like found objects to create the sound effects,
mm,
and maybe they are possessed or haunted or something because the more she works with these, the more uh, you know some sort of presence begins to invade her life. Um,
perfect.
yeah, so there's a movie called again if it's a little more obscure, Barbarian Sound Studio that
Okay.
inspired a lot of this. It's sort of giallo-esque, if you're
Okay.
familiar with that subgenre. Um, but it's an homage to a lot of different things. Chris Shern, the director, used a lot of and Jeremy Applebaum, his cinematographer. There's shots that are tailored to be Hitchcockian. Like there's one
Mm,
shot that of me that they did kind of from down below that is meant to replicate Anthony Perkins in Psycho.
awesome.
That type of thing where unless you know if you know it, you go, "Oh, I see
That's
what you
great.
did there."
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, yeah, so it's just a lot of fun. So she's making these movies and all this stuff is happening to her. So you see both snippets of the movies she's making. So there's like little horror movies within the movie.
Cool. Even better. That's great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. But I think that's why I think when people who just uh, go into it without knowing what to expect, it's like, what the fuck is
what
this?
the fuck?
Um, uh, so if you give it time, it's the slow burn, as they always say. It's the
I love a
slow
slow
burn.
burn.
Um, uh, and we had a short festival run last year. Um, and then now we're concentrating on we should start streaming March 10th. I don't have specifics yet,
Okay.
but Chris Shern just posted recently that March 10th should be when we have everything finalized. And
Awesome.
we'll
Yeah.
also have physical media available for
Physical
you
media.
physical media collectors out there.
Listen, we love the physical media. Yeah, I actually saw that post.
Physical media. You want to grab
Hey,
your copy now of Puppet Master Dr. Death.
there's your
My
commercial
little
right there.
friend says, "Buy Dr. Death."
There you go. That's great. That's great. Well, congratulations on all that. I mean, it sounds like
Thank you.
you got a sequel in the works, so that's enough right there to,
Yeah.
the interest is there.
Well, and let me, if I can just say a little bit about the next film coming up. It's called Hug These Bones. My character, I play a guy who's like just in very true casting has screwed up his life by the time he gets here, and is alienated from his children and everything. And I almost die from an overdose. That's how the film opens. I'm basically lying on the bathroom floor covered in puke at the very beginning of the film.
Great
If
start.
that's, I mean, I should maybe not have been say that, but
I'll
I
cut.
almost die. That's not really spoiling anything. Like I'm very so I decide that I need to get my life together and reconnect with my kids. I go to a therapist. The therapist says, "Have you ever tried this cuddle therapy?" Um, so dubious at first, I say, "Okay." And while at one of the therapeutic cuddle parties, my cuddle partner turns out to be possessed by an ancient evil entity who literally sinks her hands into my body while hugging me and steals my soul.
Great.
Right. So it is it
Great.
is it is a comedy, and no,
It's a touching
it is
romance.
not. It is not a comedy. It's a psychological thriller. Uh,
Oh, yes.
I the psychological weirdness of Jacob's Ladder and the body horror of um, Human Centipede. Maybe
Okay.
there's some flesh melding that goes
Mm,
on at the
okay.
cuddling.
Okay. That's gonna it's hey, a horror movie
So there
about
you go.
cuddling?
But I don't know of any other, not just horror movie, any movie set in a cuddle party. So
No. Hey, now that they're either gonna become really popular or everyone's gonna avoid the shit out of cuddling anyone.
yeah, I mean it's to me it's such a fascinating concept because
It is.
the whole idea of and there's not even necessarily cuddle therapy addresses if you've been deprived of human touch. Your parents, your mother didn't hug you enough.
Mm,
It is, which is a thing. I mean,
yeah.
that human touch deprivation can affect people psychologically. So that's what cuddle therapy is meant to help address. But they also just, I mean, just people who, it's not necessarily from a therapy, people just have cuddle parties to go cuddle, and it's non-sexual. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that in and of itself is already weird.
Yeah, I'm sold. What's the name of the movie
So it's
again? I'm
like,
sorry.
hug these bones.
Hug These
Hug
Bones.
these bones.
Awesome. We'll all keep an eye out for that for sure, and,
But yeah,
uh, yeah.
it's we're excited.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, I guess what I'm gonna end this conversation with
What?
saying I
And
mean, listen,
I haven't
I
even gotten started yet. Wait, where are my notes? Where are my notes?
where are they? I guess we could do a part 2. We haven't even made it through all of your life yet. We have so many other things to talk about.
We're only up to 1987.
Alright, so in 1988, what were just,
Well, then everything went to hell.
nah, it sounds like
Yeah,
everything
no, no,
just
no.
kept getting better.
I've enjoyed talking to you, and yeah.
I do wanna ask you one thing, that
Oh, absolutely.
I found that I really love to ask people, and I want you can
Uh-oh.
if you wanna talk for 10 minutes about it, by all means do it, but it's kind of a reverse on a normal question that people
Okay,
ask. My
cool.
reverse question is, what what do you think young Bill would tell older Bill today?
Uh, check out now. It's
N
not worth it.
Never.
Um, that I'm being glib, but kind of. Because I remember young Bill. I remember
Mhm.
when I turned 25, there was something about being 25 that finally made me realize, oh, I'm not just going to stay young forever.
Yeah.
I will gradually get older. And at that point, this is how morbid my brain was even at 25 was. So I'm just going to work my ass off for the next how many years, and I'm still going to die. I mean, no matter what, I'm going to die.
I mean, it's the sad truth.
Not
It's
that I was ever suicidal. I just remember
no, yeah.
thinking, you know, acknowledging the futility of life. Um, yeah, boy, there's a lot I would tell myself. I would love to redo to redo my life, to be honest.
Hmm,
And I'm sure there's a lot of people with that, but
sure.
um, yeah, I guess don't be afraid to go for what you want. Um, I guess what it took me a lifetime to learn was uh, how to be more assertive. And a lot of that, like I said, just growing up, I had zero self esteem or self confidence as a kid.
Mm,
That's just how I grew up. So it took me a while as an adult to get past that. So I'd like to have known that I could get past that sooner and know how to do it. It took
yeah,
me many years to figure that out on my own.
yeah. Well, you know what? I think it sounds like and it looks like you've accomplished quite a bit. So I think what I think I
Well,
would
thank you.
see, I think I would see young Bill saying to the older version of you, sitting in that Batmobile and looking at what you're doing now, getting ready to play Alfred Pennyworth. He's gonna say, "Fuck yeah, we did it." You know.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I certainly, would not have envisioned
yeah, yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know that I envisioned anything.
yeah.
I really did not have like a thought out plan. When people say, "Oh yeah, such I knew when I was 16 I wanted to be a barber." That's what my barber recently told me. He's
Oh wow.
80 he's 80 now. He said, "I knew when I was 16 years old I wanted to be a barber." Wow, okay. I
Wow.
had
Yeah,
no clue what I
yeah.
wanted to do when I was 16. I wanted to bang my girlfriend. That's a pretty
That's
much
all you
all
wanted.
I
That's that's all you needed at
thought
that
it.
moment in time. Yeah, that's all you needed.
I was just happy I had a girl.
Bang or not, I got her. Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, I'm 38. I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I sure as hell can tell you that I
I
enjoy.
totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here chatting with you, and I'm really enjoying myself, and I'm enjoying this craft. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I
And
get, and I guess if that's, if I could say one thing, it would be this is what you're going to end up doing. Don't pussyfoot around about it for
mm,
however long. Do it. Just do it. You know. Um, I just didn't think it was something I could do.
yeah, well,
I mean, growing up, my mom ran a beauty shop in our home, and she had what were the movie star magazines at the time. So to me, people who were actors lived on another planet.
yeah,
That wasn't something I saw as that I could ever do.
sure,
So it took me a long time to get comfortable with it.
yeah. Well, you seem incredibly comfortable now, and it's paying off. I mean, you have a legion of people who are excited about your work. I was excited to talk to you,
Thank
and
you. Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's next. Congratulations on all your success.
Thanks
And
again. I really enjoyed talking to you too.
oh well, thank you. I
So,
appreciate that. I enjoyed talking to you as well. And like I said, we will definitely get you back on.
oh
And
yes, please, absolutely.
I'm always down for chatting, even if you want to shoot the shit and talk an episode about Animal House and everything it meant to you. By all means, we
We're both just fans of film.
absolutely. I
So
feel that.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
No, I knew that about you.
You can tell by some of the things I have in the background here.
I see your almost famous poster back there.
Almost Famous is
Is
my
it?
all-time
Isn't that
favorite
it?
movie.
Yeah.
It is. Yep.
Is it really?
It is my all-time favorite. I
I saw
watch
it in
it.
the theater on its initial run. Thank you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Awesome. I did not see it in theaters, and when it came out, I watched it and I enjoyed it, but it didn't really touch me the way that I thought it would. And I have since, maybe in the past 10 years, have found this insane love for it. And
Interesting.
actually,
Now,
I think
see, I haven't watched it in years. I'm gonna have to watch it again now.
perfect. Well, I will tell you, there is a untitled, it's called Untitled Bootleg Cut. It's Cameron Crowe's director's cut version of the film. You can, you can't stream it for free, but you can buy it on like Apple TV and stuff. But
Oh.
it's 35 minutes longer and there's alternate takes, there's alternate
Oh,
dialogue, and
wow.
it's a completely different film. It's incredibly done, and it the movie to me feels like a warm hug, as corny as that sounds, but I
Yeah,
can talk
and again, when I say I grew up with Mad Magazine, Monsters of the Film Line, comic books, when it first came out, I was a Rolling Stone
oh, yeah.
reader
Oh, yeah.
magazine, and I know it's kind of
Oh, yeah.
isn't it sort of loosely based
Yep,
on Jan Wenner and
yep.
or
So,
Jan
yeah.
Wenner? Yeah,
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 so, yeah, it's based on Cameron Crowe's life and how he used to
yeah, right.
travel with the rock stars and write with Rolling Stone, and
So it's like the whole thing really, really vibed with me. It's like, I know what they're talking about.
awesome. Hell yeah, yes. Well, I think, yeah, definitely give the director's cut, of a
Yeah, I
chance.
will. Oh, I
I
love
think it'll
director's cuts.
yeah, and shoot me a message after you watch it because I actually
I
have a whole
will.
I have a whole podcast episode about my love for the movie. It just came
Okay.
out back in September or October, I think. So check that
I'll
out
look
too
that
after
up.
you watch the
I'll
movie.
look that
Yeah.
up. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Cool.
Great. Well, Bill, hey, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, you can stick around as soon as I hit stop or say
I
goodbye
wish
to
I
you, but
could. I wish I could.
you're too busy. I get it. I get it. I get it. But
Bill,
Bill, thank you
gotta
so much.
fly. Look at the time.
Me too. Me too, guys. Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to this incredible interview with Bill here.
Thanks for putting up with me.
Hey, no, it was a pleasure, and I hope everyone has a great night, and we'll see you all again next time.